Good morning, this is the Desert Shaman, Roger Thunder. I'm going to do a video today about why my channel is being blocked. This is an in-your-face video directed at YouTube and to all those people that might not know what's going on with their channel, if other channels are being affected like this. But I'm just going to straight out tell it like it is. Here's the evidence, all right? This channel has, first of all, let me state that this channel has been being blocked and censored and shadow banned for years, all right? And when I say years, I'm talking about I've been on YouTube for 10 plus years, over 500 videos, and look at my subscribers. Look at how many subscribers I have. 1,800, something like that. I should have 18,000. I should have 100,000. And here's why. Because I've been doing this for 10 fucking years, all right, on every imaginable subject that you can think of. And when I say subject, I'm talking about truthful subjects. I'm not talking about newsboy shit. Now, there's plenty of people out there that are putting stuff on their YouTube channel, and I'll mention some things, Judge Napolitano, the Duran, the list goes on and on and on, and they talk about all the stuff that they're not supposed to talk about, that you would think that they would get a strike for, or they would get, banned. And there's a plethora of these channels out there that do nothing but, and they talk about all kinds of things like COVID and, the Ukraine war and how phony it is. And supposedly you would think, well, these people should be taken down if there truly is censorship on the Ukraine war and there truly is censorship on COVID and all this type thing. Some channels can get away with this shit and nothing happens to them at all. And you got to scratch your head and you have to wonder why it is that, if I say something or I mention a certain thing, I might get a warning or a strike or something, although I haven't gotten that in quite some time, because they operate on other levels. It's not about getting strikes and warnings and all that good shit. What it is about is how they infiltrate into the mechanics and into the technology and into the algorithms and adjust it to the way they want to adjust it. If they want to, make it so that you don't have too many subscribers, they'll do that. If they want to make it so that you don't have as many views out of the subscribers you have, they'll do that. If they want to shadow ban your comments that you make on other media, or even shadow ban your own channel as far as comments go, they'll do that. And you don't have any control over it. And you might think I'm whining here, but this is not about whining. Okay, this is about giving you an alert as to what's going on and how much control they have over the situation, all right? I'm putting YouTube on notice. You're shadow banning me. You're interfering with my subscription rate. You're interfering with my views, and I know it goddamn well. How do I know this, you might say? Well, I've done experiments. I'm not a dummy, okay? Been around this world for quite some time. And here's how I know it. If you go back on my channel 10 years and start at video 1, and I could do that on here, I could do a screenshot and show you all the videos I've done and all that stuff. You do it yourself. It's real easy. You just click on my channel and you go back to day 1 and start scrolling forward and see the topics that I have talked about and the topics that I have covered. Now, one thing that could have got me in trouble is I've always been a advocate or an activist for the Native American tradition and the what was done to the Native Americans and the history of the Bluecoats persecuting and genociding the Native Americans. So that's something that's been on my channel since day 1. Why? Because I have that blood in me. And I'm a shaman. But if you look at some of the other videos I've done, I've never been what you would quote unquote call a newsboy, a guy that just goes on there and talks about the current news over and over and over again ad nauseum. So you got all kinds of channels that do that, all right? But I've covered things like way back 10 years ago, the persecution of Putin, why certain situations are going on in the world, the truthful side of things, Operation Jade Helm, which was a deep state operation. I've always been on top of the intel. I've always been on top of the deep state situation before that term even came out and was coined by, guess who? President Trump, the deep state. He's the one that made it famous, and he is the deep state. But if you go back and look at my videos, you will see that I have talked about every imaginable situation, and I've also given light on the fact of how to deal with the situation on a spiritual level, and the truth from a spiritual level. And it's always been the truth, always. And I never went on there and just newsboyed it all day long, just talking about the news over and over and over again. I've talked about the implications of the news. And in order to do that, I had to present what the news was of the day, but I didn't go on there and show a million screenshots and talk about this and talk about that ad nauseum. Now, if you look at these channels today, they're Johnny-come-latelys. They've been around for a year. They've been around for 2 years. Dialogue Works, Judge Napolitano, the Duran. They are Johnny-come-latelys, all right, and they popped up at a time when there was a transition going on YouTube, where they were getting rid of certain people and then adding other people. And that transition included the fact that they would only allow talking head type situations in there. In other words, by that I mean almost like a replication of what you would see on MSNBC or Fox News, a talking head type situation and a kind of a news oriented. So, the alternative media used to really be alternative, but not now. It's still labeled the alternative media, but it's basically infiltration or certain things that are being allowed. And why are these certain things being allowed? The same things that I might say or somebody else might say and get a slap on the wrist or whatever. Why are certain things like these shows I mentioned being allowed on there? And there's plenty of them. It's not just Napolitano and Duran. I mean, there's a whole fucking slew of them. So why are they allowed? Well, I'll tell you exactly why they're allowed. So in my last video, I did an expose, or I did a discussion on hypnosis and trance. And in this discussion, I said that that hypnosis and trance is induced by repetition, suggestions, all right? Constant suggestions over and over and over again. And you accept the suggestions, and then the next thing you know, the suggestions are reinforced over and over and over again. So when you get these guys that are coming on here, that I call them the newsboys, they have the same guests on. They have people like Jeffrey Sachs and Mearsheimer and the CIA boys, McGovern, and a whole slew of people. But what is their agenda in allowing supposed people coming out telling the truth, almost like whistleblowers? Why would YouTube allow that, but yet not allow somebody like me to increase my subscription rate and to increase my viewership? Well, because the agenda that these shows serve is basically a hypnotic agenda. In other words, if they keep repeating, and if you've ever watched these shows, you look at, like, let's say the Ukraine war, you look at the war in Gaza, or what's going on over there. These people will come on and say the same thing every fucking day until you just like, really? Am I in some kind of time warp here? Because everything is being repeated over and over and over again about, why this is happening, and Zelensky this, and Zelensky that, and the Ukraine war, and Netanyahu, and why this, and why that, and he's going to come out of power, and these same narratives keep going on over and over and over. If you tune in a month later or 2 months later, you're going to get the same story you got 2 months ago. So repetition and reinforcement of, let's say, bad things going on in the world, wars, slaughters, genocide, end-time scenario shit, nuclear war. This is talked about and impregnated on your mind through this continual repetition over and over and over again by these people that are Johnny-come-latelys, that have been, on YouTube less than a year or 2 years or 3 years. So this is what's happening here, people. And I, coming from a shamanistic point of view, from a very high spiritual point of view, from an indigenous point of view, maybe even, I mean, you might even say something like from a Star Brothers point of view, or let's say a higher truth-revealing point of view. This is what they don't want. Why? Because when I come from that point of view, just like I am right now, I expose what's going on. I expose what's going on. I give you the truth about, just like I am right now, about what's happening. And this video is not entirely about, oh, just me, and I don't have enough subscriptions, and I don't have enough viewership. It's not about me. It's about the agenda, see? Now, my purpose has always been to expose the agenda, not really what's happening or the deep state or the wars or anything like that. It has always been to expose the agenda behind it. That's why they don't like this channel. 'Cause they know I'm telling the fucking truth. And am I angry about it? Well, shit, yeah, I'm angry about it. Because wisdom keepers, shamans, medicine men need to be heard in this time, in this period of time that we're living in right now. They need to be heard. I and others who are speaking from that level, not just about the news, but about raising your consciousness, getting your act together on an enlightenment level, so that you can, regain your own personal power and have some kind of chance against the onslaught that is happening to people right now on this planet. And here's another thing about these newsboys, the newsboys, and the latest alternative channels is they make money, too. They make a lot of money. And they make a lot of money for YouTube. Now, I don't operate on the YouTube, monetization level, and never liked it, never will. And even, I have Patreon and all that stuff. But none of that stuff's, that's more independent. I have my spiritofcrazyhorse.com for donations. And yes, I get a few donations now and then, but it's not like these channels that are getting hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars for bullshit, okay? For the repetition, for the hypnotic repetition to brainwash you. To brainwash you. And what do? Well, I'm not saying my faithful channel followers here, but what do? What do people do? They go right over to shows like the Duran and Napolitano and other shows, and all of a sudden they got in Gray Zone and any of these things. They go right over there and start donating $100 here, $50 there, $500. It's all popping up on the chat there. It's all popping up on there. And yet, what about somebody like me who's struggling to get, the real truth out? And just because I don't hook people into that hypnotic agenda, that hypnotic just repeating the same old stuff over and over, it's an addiction. You know what it is? It's called fear porn. Fear porn. End of the world shit. End time stuff. Be on, any day now we're going to have a nuclear war, It's the end of the world. Oh my God. Duck and cover. And yet, you idiots go to these channels and watch it day after day after day. It's an addiction. And you contribute money to them because you think it's worth it, okay? In your small fucking mind, you think it's worth it to be addicted to fear porn. And you gotta have it every day. It's like heroin, man. So when somebody that is a true wisdom keeper, that is a true truth teller, oh, it's boring. It's boring about, you talk about raising your consciousness. Okay? You talk about raising your consciousness, or you think you might want to be enlightened, or you really, the Great Awakening, quote unquote. I know the lights are going crazy here. It's the clouds. But this is what's happening, people. This is what's happening. Tune in to somebody that's going to tell you the truth, all right? Now, doesn't matter if you tune in, now does it? It doesn't matter if you tune in. I could have 100,000 people that want to tune in here. That's the point. The real point that I'm trying to make here is that my purpose is to spread truth and knowledge. And yes, it would be nice, a person of my age, not that easy to make ends meet. It would be nice to get support. And I'm not talking about like these guys out there. They're making, $100,000 or whatever period of time you want to tack that on. Could be anything, actually. So while I'm on here, I'm going to say one thing. I also have my videos on BitChute. If people that on BitChute are watching this, you can donate by going over there to that little green button or whatever it is if you appreciate this stuff. So this video is, just to be clear, is not really about donations per se, because, man, if I had 100,000 viewers, I'd 20,000 of them would be donating regularly. So it's really not about that. It's about how they block you through technology, how you're blocked through technology. And if you think that I'm off my rocker or something, you better realize what the fuck they can do to you with technology. They can control your phone. They can control. Sometimes I have trouble with my recording equipment here, and other people have had too, where they can go right into your computer and fuck around with the software and that type of thing, or they can go into your phone and they can actually type messages to you on your phone. I've had this happen. I've sat there and watched my phone on the messaging. I've watched my phone type itself, type a message in, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm not even touching the keyboard. I might get close to the keyboard, but not touch it, and all of a sudden it starts typing in shit. This is a fact. This is true. Maybe it's happened to you as well. Other things they can do are send phony messages from, let's say, your loved ones, and you think it's from them, and they can take that over too, and they can send you messages that sound like your loved one, but are just a little bit off somewhere. It just doesn't really make sense. Why would they say that to me or something like that? They can do the same thing. They can shade meanings. They could use your cell phone for any number of fucking reasons, tracking, sending out frequencies, okay, destructive frequencies. They can do all this stuff, and this is just hand in hand with what I'm talking about right now. Hand in hand with it. They're doing it through the computer. I mean, look at my lights. They're going up and down here on the recording, all right? Maybe it's just my aura or my truthful presence, but they can do all kinds of shit to give you problem. Uploading, downloading. And I've just had it with these fuckers. And I've had it, I'm having it with people that don't realize what the fuck's going on. So no, I can't really hold anybody out there that, I love the people, the following I have. I want you to know that. I can't hold anybody out there accountable for not getting enough views or whatever, but you can be held accountable for supporting in some way, in some fashion, supporting somebody that has been marked, okay, as somebody that sees things that other people don't see, as somebody that is disseminating good energy, as somebody that is has the true purpose, okay, of lifting consciousness out there above the newsboy fucking syndrome. And this is definitely now here's another thing that I know. If I go on somebody else's YouTube, like Judge Napolitano, and I make a comment that is enlightening or that might make people think, and I'm looking at all these other comments on there, and they got 90 likes and 20 likes and 10 likes and 5 likes, and I go on there and I put something that I know hits the spot and nails it, you won't see any likes, because that isn't even showing up. That comment isn't even showing up. That's where they fuck up and think we don't know. And how else can you test this? Well, in the main comment section, you won't show up. But if you go down and, let's say, comment on another person's comment, it shows up. Because you kind of somehow slipped through the loophole. And then you got a bunch of likes. All kinds of people like your comment. But you go up and put that comment at the top of the heap, or just as your own personal comment, and it doesn't even get a like. It's really probably not showing up on a percentage of the listeners on that channel, whatever. This is not tinfoil hat conspiracy shit. This is real stuff. And not only that, but they can do stuff exactly to you. They can target you from outer space, for God's sake. They can zero in on one person and TI him, make him a target individual, and mess with the frequencies around them, and so you got to really be on a high frequency to overcome this shit. You got to really have some spiritual angels and warriors and even devils to ward off that bullshit that's coming down on you. So you have no idea of the situation of the world and the control and the hypnotic trances that is being done to you. Now, my purpose is to inform you. That's my spiritual purpose. And I will never stop doing that until, the day I leave this realm. Won't stop doing that, because I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what I'm being told to do. I know what the download is. And I know whose side I'm on, all right? And I know whether I'm a black hat or a white hat. Another fucking weird narrative. It's not about that at all. So, I guess I've ranted enough here today, but I wanted to get that out. Why is my channel being blocked? That was the question, and I think I provided the answer. I'm waving my hands because sometimes when you wave your hands in front of the camera, the light changes or whatever. But see how light it is now? I'm not doing anything in here. I mean, yeah, the clouds might be changing a little bit out there, but see? I'm telling you. I have control. So don't think I don't. I'll get the message out some way, whether it's just telepathically. telepathically. Put it out there, baby, and somebody's going to pick up on it. So it doesn't matter what you fuckers on YouTube do, or what you fuckers in this control mechanism do, because your time's coming real soon. It's coming real soon. Yeah, see, now I get light now. Well, maybe that's spirit. Spirit. Maybe that's what that is. Enlightenment. Yeah, you people on BitChute, I'm getting more views there, so I appreciate you guys, and please jump over there once in a great while and throw the dog a bone, just like the people on this channel. Because this is getting old. I'm watching these guys out there that are high pocket fuckers making all kinds of fucking money. And, man, I'm not in it for that. I'm in it just to survive. Just to survive would be nice. So think about that. Go to spiritofcrazyhorse.com and donate. And quit thinking that you can't help this situation that I'm talking about. Unless you just want to see me quit doing videos, which I'm on the verge of. I'm on the verge of. It could happen. Adios.